Today we're gonna do we're just gonna check over this John Deere skid loader. This is the 270 series, but it's sort of the same concept for a lot of the John Deere skid loaders, like the 328 and 314 and so forth. But I'm just gonna show you where some of the key locations are as far as filling the hydraulic fluid, fuel filter, antifreeze, stuff like that. And I'm gonna show you how to raise the cab. All right, so let's hop into it. All right, we got our bucket off. That's the first thing you want to do, and you want to raise your boom all the way up there. And there's a safety latch here, which you can see here, which is preventing this arm from coming down should it lose any hydraulic pressure and come down and want to crush you. You have this safety here, which is engaged by, if you go inside, I'll show you, right behind the seat. Now in this one, it's on that side. I know in the 328, it's on that side. So basically, this is slid out right now, and when you want to disengage it, you will raise the boom up to take some pressure off of that pin out there, and then you'll slide it back this way, and that'll allow you to drop your. And first thing we're gonna do, you got these on the front of the cab here. You got these 3/4 inch nuts. There's a washer underneath. You're gonna want to take them off. There's one there. Come around to the other side, and we got one right there. All right, we're gonna take those two off, and then we have this diamond plate panel here with some self tappers in there. Those are gonna have to come off as well, and then the cab will pretty much just lift up. So, all right, all of our bolts are out. You're pretty much gonna grab from like right here, or if you got some really good strength, you can grab from those bars. But I found that grabbing lower is a lot better for me. Now, when you try to pull, the base of this seat is going to hit these handles. Now, you can try to move your handles forward a little bit, but when you're tugging on this, it's going to push those handles forward anyway. So, and if you find that this is a little bit stuck and it's not coming up, just get yourself a long pry bar, put it underneath it here, and apply some pressure on each side to break any rust or whatever's holding it down. Caught up on the handles there, so just kind of pull one arm and push down the handles with your other arm until it passes those handles. Just like that. You want to push up on this all the way until you got this red safety latch here. Okay, when you push this in, that's going to allow you to drop the cab down, but you want to push this all the way up until this falls back like it is. All right, and this just kind of lifts up. See these side panels here, they got this little handle right here. I'm just gonna really pick up on that handle and slide it off. Just go around to the other side, do the same thing. Everything is open and accessible, so now you can go ahead and service it. So I'll show you some of the key points here. Is the you got your coolant here. All right, that's where you would put it, and it's going to differ on different skid steers, but it's essentially what most of the cylinders look like that you put the antifreeze in. Down here we have our oil filter here, and we have the hydraulic fluid fill here. We have our battery here. Up here is your air filter. It's just got these little clips on it. Just pop them up, pull that out. These you got to blow out pretty often. And then back under the air filter there, you got the hydraulic filter. Engine oil dipstick. And on top is the engine oil fill. There's your radiator cap there. Come around to this side. This is where you put your diesel fuel in. This is your fuel water separator filter here, and this one's got an electric fuel pump on it right there, you can see. And right there in front of that guy is the fuel filter. If you need to change that, that's pretty accessible right there. So here's your radiator here. Your oil cooler is actually in front of it, but it wouldn't be a bad idea either to get an air line, and just be careful you don't hit the fins in there, but just blow these out, especially if you're working in a construction field or somewhere where there's a lot of dirt. These radiators get packed with dust, and can cause a lot of problems, overheating and stuff like that. So come over here so you can see a little bit better. But just get your air line and blow it out. What I would recommend is actually dropping this oil cooler down. This just kind of pivots down here and comes down. And get in there and blow either that way or blow out this way. But definitely get this out of the way, because if you're blowing the radiator from this way and not dropping the oil cooler down, you're just blowing it into the cooler, which is not really doing any justice at all. Do not, whatever you do, don't use water. I see a lot of guys that just come in here with a hose and start hosing the radiator out. Well, what that does is, if you ever put water in dirt, it turns to mud, and then it turns to clay. And that's what it's going to do inside of your radiator. As soon as you put water on it, you think you're flushing it out, and you might be getting some of the dirt out, but you're going to have a lot of it form into like a clay, like a mold, and it's just going to block all the air and the fins from cooling. So use the air first. Now, coming up here under the cab, this is a spot where, you know, there's not really any fluids or anything up here, but it's a pretty crucial spot as far as doing maintenance. Down in this well where your foot pedals are. All right, you have a lot of times these get stiff when you're trying to push on them, and you can't really get the boom to go up and down or tilt. And you got this valve block here, and you can see this is where it goes in and out. All right, and well, I can't really push it with my hand, but these get really rusted and corroded, and you just get all kinds of crap in there. There's all kinds of dirt builds up in here. And so one of the important things I do is I always blow these out. Get a high powered air gun, or you can get a power washer or whatever, but just clean in here often. And I always soak this with a PB blaster, or even squirt some grease down on here with your grease gun to keep these moving freely in and out, because these do jam up and it makes it hard to control that bucket sometimes. And then coming up here, you can see when you move your handles here, you got a lot of linkage under here. Now remember, if you own one of these machines, pretty much you're working in the dirt. It's getting dirty. And all this stuff under here, I usually blow out with the air gun, and I'll get some WD-40, and I'll drench this pretty often, just to keep all of this stuff lubricated and moving. Come over here to the other side. Probably see this a little bit better over here. You can see all the linkage, and you get you can see you get dirt and rocks and everything stuck in here and jammed, and it causes a lot of problems, a lot of functionality problems. And you got more linkage up here. Okay, so this is a lot of stuff that can cause problems if you don't maintain it properly. Keep it clean, keep it oiled. All right, and then you got your fuses over here. I don't know if you can see that. My shadow is kind of in the way, but get all your fuses on that side. And just check all your wiring while you're under here. Check all your hoses. Make sure there's no leaks, nothing like that. All right, but definitely keep it lubricated under here. And of course, all the grease fittings that are around on your boom, everywhere around the machine. Definitely want to take some time and grease everything up. Grease is very important, especially on machines like this. It goes a long way, and it will definitely extend the life of your machine. There's quite a few grease fittings all over the place on each of your pivot points. Definitely make sure you hit them all. And once you have your cab closed, one simple thing that goes a long way, especially if you're not the operator or you are the operator, you'll make someone real happy. See, these rails here, the door that actually slides along those rails. I can't tell you how frustrating it is when you get a door that's really hard to close when you're on the inside. So take some WD-40 and just kind of soak it in here, and squirt your rollers here, and then you have the other track that goes along the top up there too, the top roller. Or even take your grease gun and just put a nice coat of grease along those tracks, and that'll make things a lot easier for this door going up and down, because they're a real pain in the ass. That's pretty much the basic, guys, if you're going to do the basic maintenance on them. That's all the locations, that's how you open everything. So hopefully this tip helped. If it did, guys, please hit subscribe below, give me a like. I'm actually about to do the fuel filter right now, which is pretty simple. It's 2 clamps, 2 hoses, slide a new filter on. But I'm going to do another video on that. I just didn't want to take up too much time in this video. Just wanted to give you the basics. All right, hit subscribe below, give me a like. See you next time.